Hey guys, Maniac here, and I got something kind of special that was actually being delivered by request. When I originally got the 3DS XL, somebody posted a comment on one of the videos. I don't remember which one. I think it was the Nintendo eShop demonstration. They asked me to take some of the Game Boy games and do a comparison because they wanted to know how the Game Boy games looked on the 3DS XL screen. Now, I don't know. I lost internet a couple days ago, which is why I haven't been able to update the site since late last night. But now that it's all back and running, while I had no internet, I went through every single box I could find and pulled this out. This is my original Model 1 Nintendo Game Boy. And I found out I must have stored it properly because I didn't keep the batteries in it and the thing works fine. This right here is Super Mario Land. I haven't played this game on this system in probably over 20 years. This system hasn't been fired up in over 20 years. Here, I'll prove it to you that it works. See, right here. Mario Land's in there. I also got Tetris in here in case you guys are curious. Oh, the classic. Now, I'm trying to keep a little bit low on the reflections, best you can, so you guys can make out what's going on here, but this is Super Mario Land on the original Generation 1 Game Boy. This is how it looked. I've already tweaked out the contrast the best I can, so this is probably the best picture that I can capture from it from a direct feed. And unfortunately, because I'm one-handing the camera at the same time, I really can't do that much with it. But you have a pretty good idea about what the game looks like and what the game would have looked like to basic, regular, people who picked up a Game Boy day one. So let's just put that aside for a second. This is Super Mario Land on the 3DS. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying that I have turned off the 3D effect. However, just give me a split second so I can reset it. This, let's put reset game. There we go. Game Boy games do not have 3D effect. So this is how it looks like on the Game Boy. I'm sorry, this is how a Game Boy game looks on the 3DS screen. And of course, I'm having the same problem here. Let's see if I can. Let's just say that this is a 3DS game. This is how it looked on the Game Boy. Sorry, I'm trying to play it without... I'm getting better, don't worry. To be perfectly honest, the responsiveness of the controls are the same. It feels quite similar. The look, of course, because it's with a much better screen, it looks a lot more, I don't know really how to describe it. It just looks awesome. You also, of course, have, well, let's face it, these features right here. I can create restore points, I can load save points. I'm gonna die here. But you get my point. This is the last level. Even the thumbstick works. Honestly, you probably want to use the D-pad, but for these flying or underwater segments in Super Mario Land, I recommend using the thumbstick. I lost it. Sorry guys, I'm trying to one-hand play at the same time. But this is how these games look. Now, you probably say, well, it looks like I'm going to be rebuying my whole Game Boy collection on the 3DS, and yeah, you can certainly do that. Here's the issue. Not all the DS library, not all the 3DS Virtual Console library has a very wide selection yet of classic Game Boy games. They're getting there. They have a wide selection, but as you can see here on the 3DS, there's no Game Boy slot. There's no Game Boy slot on it. So that means that until Nintendo decides to release more games for the system through the Virtual Console, we're basically at their mercy, or you're just going to be playing the Game Boy games. Now, the upside is that original model Game Boy will play all the Game Boy games you throw at it. The downside is like, let's say, for example, battery backups and things like that. Now, Super Mario Land doesn't use a battery backup, nor does the other game I have, Tetris. But here's the thing. Games that do have battery backups have long since their internal batteries have died. Sure, they can be replaced, but I've been told it's a time-consuming, annoying process. Here, you're not going to have a problem with the need of battery backups. So, I understand that from a purist perspective, this is probably the way you should be playing your Game Boy games, and it's actually a lot more convenient because you can go to the store and buy a whole pack of buy a whole bunch of these game packs. And right now, this is the only way I could find a copy to play a copy of Pokemon. But, right here, it's just so much more convenient. It's a better screen. You have the thumbstick. It's better controls, save points, and no concern of, let's say, an internal battery dies, you lose your progress or your saves. That's just not going to happen here. You're using internal SD cards. Those don't need power to be sustained. So, what's better? Well, I'll leave that to you. But I can say right now that this has a much better image. I honestly believe that Nintendo should release a lot more Game Boy games and Game Boy Color games to the service, because I sure as heck would love to pick them up. Right now you could probably get Game Boy games that are available currently on the 3DS for about $2 to $3, depending upon the game. So until next time, guys, this is Maniac with GameAccess.net. Over and out.